Hey people, what's going on? Like I say, the days just move on by. It's Wednesday. Wasn't it? Wasn't yesterday Monday? No, yesterday was Tuesday. 3rd of April already. Cheers. Well, let's see if I can do today's video. Let's see how it goes. So, I have one thing to share. And yeah, I'll see. Someone just about wrote a book yesterday on my video. Only thing I have to say is, yeah, okay. That's they said they don't think, because it's like I'm just telling you what I like. I definitely think the Pretty Things are better than the Stones and the Who. And so I responded to the person. We all have our preferences, Pretty Things are pretty badass. So then someone reminded me of the locked groove on Camembert Electrique. Yes, that's right. There is a locked groove on that, isn't there? And then someone was asking me about gigging in Omaha. I mentioned one place, but there's probably a lot going on that I don't know about. And I would say use your social media like you're doing asking me. Get on Facebook, get on Instagram, and ask. Ask for working musicians in Omaha. Where are you playing at? Because I'm not playing a lot of places. I'm hardly playing. I got one gig this month at Oliver's. Check out Oliver's, Okay. So last night I had my third or fourth, I lose track, guest lecturer for CSUN, California State University. I always forget the professor's name. Bernardo is his first name. Yeah, Bernardo Atias. And it's a business class. So it's, I told him that, it's just a little bit ironic for me to be a regular speaker in a business class when I personally hate having to do business. It's a necessity. Some people thrive on it. I do it, but it's not my primary focus and don't want it to be. It's not about the money. We need money as a resource and as a tool, but as a reward, the act of making the music, the act of being involved is the greatest reward. For me, that's the reward. So that went really well, and it kept me on for over an hour and a half, and it's like, I'm pleased that the professor and the students find what I have to say engaging and useful. And they kept wanting me to talk and ask questions, and I love it. Okay. Also, the Mike Watt from Pedro show. If you haven't listened to it, that's online now. Mike Watt, who was in the Minutemen, Iggy and the Stooges, Firehose. He's played with everyone. He's still playing with everyone. Porno for Pyros, anywhere. It was a great conversation. And it's up online. Watch it. Leave a comment. I'll eventually have Mike on my show sometime. He's busy. Yeah, I picked up on it. He's busy. And after talking to him a second time and checking in with him before we started to record, I asked him how he's doing, because I said, you sounded a little rough, when we started on the other day, and he's just overworked. He works hard and works a lot. So I said, he's all right. Even if he may have depression like we all do, he is a dynamo and just plows ahead. So it was really, really nice talking to Mike Watt. And I encourage, you'll hear another side of me through having someone else take the lead in the conversation. So I put it out once before, sort of half-heartedly, but now I'll say I'm open. If you would like to have me, if you'd like to have a conversation with me on your channel to upload and share, get a hold of me. I'll probably do it. Okay? Yeah, get a hold of me. Let's do it. Okay. Music-wise, I finally got a copy of this. It's not rare. It's just some... So, the Beatles changed my life, like so many things that happened. The Beatles on Ed Sullivan was a cosmic moment. So between me and my sister, for a time, we had a lot of their records. And then when my older sister went through a identity transformation and woke up to her black consciousness, she burned, literally destroyed and burned all of her white music, and then wouldn't let me alone until I did it. It was so traumatizing. Again, I've talked to my sister about it. It's one of those crazy things you do as a child when you don't really have your mind together. I never wanted to destroy my records. That was so horrible. It's hard to talk about it now. But anyway, I don't know that she ever owned it. I know I never owned it. I never owned a copy of Something New by the Beatles. It's not a rare album, but we never owned it. I don't think she had it. So now, after this album came out in 1964, and in 2024, I finally own a copy. And it was nothing, $10, $11. Like I said, this is not a collector's item, but this is an original American Capitol. Nerdy collectors have it all down to, is it a LA pressing, Pittman pressing? I haven't looked that up. I just know it's old. And when I put it on, it's like it's such a... it is such a total nostalgia trip to listen to the Beatles. It really is. So this was a great pleasure to bring home and drop the needle on. I almost went out in the other room and grabbed my Beatles collection. I don't have anything rare by the Beatles because, as you know, collectors, if you are trying to collect the Beatles, it's endless. So I've never tried, but I have their main records. The other old album of theirs that I don't have anymore that I keep missing is Beatles 65. So I hope I get a chance to get that. I got two other records in the used yesterday, because I saw these in the update for Homers. Anytime I have a chance to buy ECM and I don't have it, I get it. Used, everything price-wise has gone up now because of the resurgence in vinyl interest, but I remember those wonderful days when you could buy ECM records used for $1 endlessly, and now everything is up 10, 20, $30 like this. But I said, sold. Jack DeJohnette with Ravi, Coltrane, and Matthew Garrison in movement. And unlike that other recent ECM purchase I got, this is the goods. That VJ Iyer that I bought recently, it's pretty good. This is the standard, okay? This is the shit. Whew, my goodness. And it's like, they do things where you have to wonder what it says. 3 people, real basic instrumentation, but then they come to points where it's like, who's doing what? Because I looked and see here that DeJohnette is playing piano and electronic percussion besides drums. And Matthew Garrison, Jimmy Garrison's son, Garrison, who was with Coltrane, plays electronics besides bass. And Matthew Garrison is an amazing bass player if you've never heard him. This is really good. Very imaginative and not typical ECM at all. Get it. And the other thing that I got is like, well, this is one of those so-called shoegaze bands that was more American sounding to me. So for my taste, they were less interesting, and I never bought any of their records. This is the first time I bought a Swervedriver record. They're good, and my appreciation of them has grown. When they were first going, I did not pick up on the fact that the main guy is black. He's light skinned. That's significant to me personally, black people and what they do. So you'll hear about it from me whether you like it or not. Black is motherfucking beautiful, okay? So this is good. That's like, wow, yeah. I was like dismissing them, you know. I don't hear everything right. That's why I always let you know I'm just sharing with you my opinion. I'm not saying I'm an authority. And even if someone comes along and says, I'm the authority, and this is what I say, I'll say to them, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I know what I like. Okay, you ain't coming over here telling me what to do. And so when I got it home, it was like, oh, wow, nice. It's a gold vinyl reissue. And it's good. They've got that guitar thing going on. This is good. Happy additions to the collection. Happy additions. So I meant to check. Let me see right now. Let me see if I don't know if we're having a Bandcamp Friday this month. We might not. Oh, let's see. Yes, thank you, Bandcamp. So this Friday is going to be another Bandcamp Friday, and one of the things that came up in the CSUN discussion was monetization, making money. That is a big focus, obviously, for everyone that's in school. Is they're trying to, get their ducks in a row so they can make money. So when I share with folks the stuff that I do, including YouTube, of course, someone asked me, so do you monetize your YouTube? And I said, no. Do you do Patreon? I says, no. And I told them and I'll say it again here, my focus is not monetary. I need money. My focus is not money. I don't monetize this because then they can censor you. And the same is with Patreon. If you're on Patreon, there's certain things that they don't want you to say and do. And I'm just saying, fuck that. So the point I'm trying to make is that when Bandcamp Friday started because of COVID, it has been a godsend. And it has been a direct way for you folks to offer me financial support for the channel. I have a regular viewership of 1,000 to 1,500 people on every video every day. I would appreciate if some of you folks would kick in on Bandcamp Friday. I had 2 digital sales yesterday, probably because of my video. And the way that it averaged out, did I make any money on those digital sales? I will share with you. Someone bought Interlude on digital, and thankfully I got, of the $10 sale, I got $8 of it. That's nice. Someone bought the Muse online, and nice. I got $1.32 for that. Okay, so the difference is that on Bandcamp Friday, all purchases, they waive the fees. The 10%, 15% that they take, they waive that for one day, and the artist receives the bulk of the sales. Not just me, but many other independent artists really rely on this revenue stream. So I'd really appreciate your support. And like Alessandro has offered to do a few times, he's up in Canada. He has my records. He's offered to buy extra copies and give them away for gifts. That's an idea. If you don't want it, buy a copy of Interlude. Like I said about Andre 3000, this is the real deal. This is where we know what we're doing. We're not amateurs. Okay, we're not playing like we're in this deep field. We're in it. To Elegy, Car Crash, Singing Bowl are very excellent examples of what Andre 3000 is trying to go for on New Blue Sun. Get a copy of this, The Muse. And also, Woven Territories with Brian Day. Brian Day is an amazing guy. Instrument maker, museum curator, travels the world all the time. Great guy. My great nephew Gabriel's artwork, his painting there on the cover. Isn't that beautiful? These are sold out. I have 2 copies left that are mine besides my archive copy. I might sell, if you get a hold of me through email and say, boy, I'd like one of those, just might sell it to you. I've got 2, I just might. I've got 1 left of the Flyover Country soundtrack, still sealed, and there's all these other artists besides me and my main soundtrack compositions. And then the RAF album. I'll leave the link. My punk band, sales have completely stalled on that, but that's the way it goes when you don't tour. When you're not able to tour and keep it in people's faces, that's what happens. But please, think about it. Show me some support. What else? I've gone back to the Carla Diratz just a bit, okay? Not deeply. I'll say again, if you see this, Carla, your voice is quite an instrument. And this is still growing on me. But it's you that is the main focus. Your voice is something else. It's quite an instrument. One of the newer groups that I joined on Facebook that I'm really enjoying is a YMO fan page, Yellow Magic Orchestra. David Sylvian is, that page is real active too. But this YMO stream, I'm loving it. It's primarily Japanese people. A lot of stuff is in Japanese. I'm seeing stuff I've never seen before that, obviously I don't live in Japan, never had access to. But I've been sharing my collection, and I love the camaraderie that I'm experiencing from folks. Here's a new, person from Japan. I love it, because it's like, it's fairly unusual. You're much more likely to run into Beatles and Stones fans and Pearl Jam and Nirvana fans. But Yellow Magic Orchestra fans, it's a niche. So it's great to find them. So I was sharing this online yesterday. This is something that, because I follow them, this is a limited edition double live CD of YMO Live World Tour. And I got it when it came out. And apparently it's a good thing I did, because it came up in the group yesterday. This is pretty rare. And they reissued it without the this box. And so that got me to playing it. The first YMO albums are dated sounding. They are. And excuse me, some of it is cheesy, but it was meant to be. It was meant to be cheesy on purpose by Hosono, by design. So I cherry pick when I listen to this old stuff because some of it is just, again, it's like it's too cheesy. But they were pioneers in electronic music, and I just love the music. So that's something else that I played yesterday. So it's 20 minutes already, and I kind of thought I didn't really have much to say, but see, this is how it goes, Folks, always keep the lines open, keep sharing with me. A while back, someone made a comment, and I take it as a compliment. They said I'm like a Mr. Rogers to them, okay? My countenance, What I would say about that is that it's important to me, and this is something I've learned through life and my jobs, is to be safe with people, respectfully respect people enough to be safe with them. What did he say? Please don't take this in any way derogatory. It's actually the opposite. The refuge and comfort for me was Mr. Rogers. Obviously, you're different, but you're speaking to that same part of me. I appreciate that, and I feel that, and I definitely take that as a compliment, and it's part of how I live. It's one of the tenets that I was raised on that it seems that a lot of people have forgotten. You remember this one? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Is that happening in politics? Is that happening? See what I'm saying? And it's one of the things that I really learned some hard lessons early on as a human services worker. Okay? It's like in human services, it's real easy for people to not have the right frame of mind, and they'll use their job for personal gain in a lot of ways. And I learned working with children early on, two jobs specifically, when I worked at a runaway house as a volunteer until they hired me. And the next thing you know, I'm the house manager. And then that led to me working at Nebraska Children's Home for a time. And then after that, I worked as a site tech in mental health hospitals, several. But it was one of the first lessons I learned as a house manager, where it's like, oh, this is my role, and this is the role that is really hard for people to keep in perspective in working with other people. When people are in a position of need for whatever reason, they're vulnerable. And as we speak, people are being taken advantage of in that sense. I learned some hard lessons at the Runaway Center. I have several stories I'd love to tell. I'll tell one and partially one other. One was when we had this kid who was almost an adult, but was still being dealt with the youth center. Dangerous guy. He tried to hold the house hostage with a knife and threatening someone, and it was serious. And one of the older counselors there, who to this day is a friend, it could have ended up really bad. He taught me a lot, and we talked it down. I was one of the first things where I learned how to be there for others, okay? Even when it's like, shit, I might have to put myself on the line here. Another one is kind of humorous. As the house manager, I would take my turn of having to do overnights at the place. Didn't particularly like that, actually. I like going home. But I remember this one time I had a particular set of kids, and we were getting along. You don't always have, because of the nature of the business, and you're dealing with people's needs and they're coming and going, you'll have sets of kids. You would have sets of kids that get along, then you have sets of kids where it's just chaos. And there's had this one time where it was just really nice. And I forget who said it, but it was bedtime. And one of the kids said, well, let us sleep with you. Let us come in. Let us come in and sleep with you, Now, I don't know if this happens anymore. I hope it does. But when I was raised as a little kid, that would happen. You would have sleepovers, not just with friends. That was one thing. But there were the sleepovers with your cousins and stuff, where you'd all sleep on the floor. They pull out mattresses and stuff, and grandma would sit up all night and watch over you. Anybody else here have that experience? I know I'm not the only one. I know it's a black culture thing. I know it's not just black culture. But anyway, I said, well, yeah, come on in. And, as far as I know, nothing happened. They came in, we talked and acted silly until we all fell asleep. The next morning, the next shift of staff come in, and they come in, bamming on my door, looking for, hey, where's everybody? And they open the door, and they see everybody asleep on the floor. And I'll never forget this. I almost remember the guy's name. He went like, oh my God. It was like he thought like this. Something really bad must have happened because I let the kids sleep in the room with me. And that's what I mean. It's like I've learned through some real deep experiences where it's important that you be safe with people and respect their space. Even if you don't like them, you don't have the right to hurt them or take advantage of them. And so the Mr. Rogers comment is a high compliment. Thank you very much. Okay, people, I'm out of here. Tell me what's going on with you.